All right, so I'm back. Sorry if you were on the other live. I had to get up and do something really quick. Sorry. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in because I tend to post these on YouTube and they stay on the Facebook page for a long time. And nobody wants to see me sitting here waiting for everyone else. I don't. Listen, it's the end of the day. My hair has been up and at 'em since about 5 o'clock this morning, and all of me is tired. But I'm going to jump right in to the Let's Chat About This book club review of Mondays Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. Listen, I don't know why we keep picking these Tiffany Jackson books that play on our emotions and drag us for filth. I don't know why we keep doing this to ourselves. However, we do keep doing this to ourselves. I wasn't ready for all of the feeling. I'm sorry, I'm looking down. I'm trying to turn the sound on my phone off because sometimes I can see comments here but can't see them there. This book literally had me kind of confused the whole entire time. Now, first of all, they kept doing a lot of back and forth, switching back and forth thing, going between the time frames before she realized Monday was missing, when her and Monday were still friends and hanging out and doing all their stuff. It was flip-flopping back and forth between that, present day, and then it would say before the before. And I found that to be a little bit confusing. And I know it probably was easy for some, but I found it to be a little bit confusing. Also, I think what added to the level of confusion was the fact that I chose, once again, to listen to the book on Audible because honestly, I'm busy as all get out and I do not have time. Time is like my one big thing. I don't have it. I just don't have it. I have to squeeze out little pieces of time here and there, and I don't have time to sit down and actually hold a book. Like today, I was finishing up this book while I was at work and live on the air during the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So yeah, I was getting not a lot of the book. I was not listening to a lot of it because trust me, there's 50 million things to do when I'm on air. And the office is kind of closed today. So I was the only person here answering phones and things like that. And then I realized if the office is closed, why am I answering this phone? So I stopped, left work a little bit ago, and now I am here to give you all my undivided attention for Mondays Not Coming. Like I said, the book, had I probably read it in a physical book, I would have been able to make those transitions a little bit better, and it would have been a little bit more seamless because I was listening to it and hearing her say before the before. That threw me for a little bit of a loop. I was not prepared for all of that. I did find it a little bit confusing, pretty much the duration of the book. I'm sorry. That was just me personally. I found it a little bit, it did a little bit too much for me for the whole duration of the book. When it first started, I'm not even going to lie. A little bit. Can y'all hear it? Yeah. It did a little bit. Yeah. Oh, look, there's me. I did a little bit of echoing. When it first started, I will say, I thought to myself that maybe Monday is an imaginary friend because this child is missing. But then it got weird because everybody knew of her. So that quickly dispelled my, is this an imaginary friend kind of language that I had going on in my head. Because, oh, she's just not here. And I was just like, wait, what? It's kind of like when you sneak and throw away your kid's blanket and you're just like, I don't know where it is. Or maybe that was just me who did that. But it kind of bothered me that nobody knew where this kid was. Almost nobody was caring where this kid was, except for like one teacher, because there had been a turnover with the nurse. The nurse wasn't, concerned because the old nurse had Alzheimer's and the new nurse knew nothing of her. I mean, like, really hadn't checked student files. She just came in like, oh, hey. And then once Claudia said she was Monday, that's when she started kind of checking into it. Sorry, I'm looking down. I was looking at myself. But yeah, I found that to be a little weird, that nobody was really as concerned as 14-year-old Claudia was about the fact that her friend was missing. Now, as it was going on, I got little peeks into Claudia's life, and I started thinking to myself, I get that this is your best friend, but girl, you're a little neurotic over here, like a little tiny bit obsessed. Like, I thought it was borderline creepy, her obsession with her best friend. I get that that's your friend. You're kind of like two peas in a pod. You're two halves to a whole. I get that. But it started to get a little bit obsessive for me. And that kind of led on to other things. I was wondering, like, what's really wrong with this kid? Like, what's going on? And then when her father mentioned he had seen Tip, had seen Monday's dad, she got that idea, let's go see him. Maybe he knows, something like that. And then when he took off running away, I was like, what's going on here? Why would you not want to see your kid? And he said he hadn't seen him in years. It was really just weird for me. But I will say, unlike allegedly, when Monday's Not Coming ended, it wrapped up everything in a nice little tiny bow for me. Allegedly ended very abruptly. I did not get any closure, and I was really miffed. And I even had to get Tiffany Jackson on Twitter a little bit like, girl, you did me wrong. I need some answers. But Monday's Not Coming really did have a solid ending for me. I was not left wondering anything. It really, really was just like, oh, well, yeah, it was okay. And because this is our normal book club, I'm assuming those who have watched or will be watching will be reading the book or have read the book. Spoilers are going to be all up and through here, so I apologize in advance if you haven't read this book. But when she went to the house and April had let her in saying, I'll show you where she is, it felt bad for me. And when Claudia said she got the thought that maybe she should leave, I'm thinking, girl, follow your gut and get out of there. Previous to that, the little sister Tuesday, which is so weird, these kids have such random names, April, August, Monday, and Tuesday. Tuesday said that she had been playing with Monday, and Monday was in a closet. She played hide and seek a lot, but Tuesday was also little, and they were kind of dismissing her. That, to me, sometimes you got to pay more attention to what the little kids are saying. And when you don't pay attention to what the little kids are saying, that's when big things like this fall through. The closet thing, the freezer being in the living room, that was all weird. And then with with her checking over Monday's library cards and library books, trying to see it like breadcrumbs, like she was leaving trails for people to pick it up for her, because Monday's mom had told her that the government can see what kind of books you're checking out of the library, and they'll kind of tie you to some stuff. Not true. But if you were on the internet, they would be tracking you. But it was just kind of weird. And then when the fact that no missing persons report had ever been filed for Monday was logical at first, because her mother said she was with a relative. The siblings were all corroborating it. And I'm thinking, okay, Monday is accounted for. August isn't really accounted for. Tuesday and April are there. So, okay. But it was really fishy. I thought something was up with the mom. The older sister was in on it some kind of way. I couldn't figure out how. And then toward the end, it all made sense. Once in the book, when it started dawning on Claudia what was going on, I thought, okay, in the book, there's an instance where there's a body found in Baltimore, and it's a young girl between the ages of 14, 16, and Claudia instantly thinks Monday is dead. It's got to be her. in the park, in the woods where they found her. Monday is dead. And I'm thinking, did Monday's mother, because nowadays you really have to worry about these kind of things. Did Monday's mother sell her into some kind of sexual slavery and now she's dead? Did Monday's mother give her to somebody who did something to her? I was really concerned about that because that's something that's really happening in the news. We've seen it all the time. I think there was a little tiny girl named I want to say Shania, but I'm not sure that was her name. She was a little biracial girl who her mom had sold her to somebody and she ended up dead. And I remember, that was some years ago. I can't remember that baby's name, but I've known cases of this kind of stuff happening. So I was wondering, oh, hey, Tweet. I was wondering if that's what happened in this case. As it turns out, if you read the book, if you didn't, here comes a big, flat out, big old spoiler. 2 years have been missing out of Claudia's life. And when Claudia thought she was just away for the summer, she was actually like at some kind of mental health organization getting herself back together. And she keeps having these nervous breakdowns because her friend Monday did die. Turns out Monday's mom, Patty, was a horrible parent and was bad on bills. And when she was getting evicted, the people came over to throw her stuff out, opened up her freezer that was in the living room, and found Monday and August's bodies down in the freezer. And instantly, when I thought about this, when I read that, well, when I heard it, I thought about the case that happened a few years ago. And I actually had to go back and look it up. The woman, Michelle, spelled Michelle Blair, in 2015, she had her daughter and her son. Her daughter was a teenager and the son was a little boy, like 8, in a deep freezer. And she had other 2 children who were at the house. And the woman had actually pretended her kid was alive, all kind of stuff. And it was really reminiscent of that. And I thought to myself, okay, I can see how this would lead off to this. And yes, you do take a situation like this and you spin it and you make it your own and you flesh it out into a full-on story. This woman had explained why she killed her children and was not the least bit remorseful, exactly how Monday's mother was not remorseful at all about the deaths of her children. And she pretty much admitted to the fact, like, I'll do it again. She blamed August's death on the fact that he kept hitting his sisters, and the bruises and the marks that we saw on Monday were actually from August, the little brother. He was beating on them, and she said one day she just got sick of him beating on them, and no, he had bit Tuesday, the baby. And she said that she got sick and tired of him doing that, so she bit him back. And I mean, that's kind of typical in cultures. You know, you bite a kid back when they're biting to make them stop biting, which it really doesn't teach them not to bite. But she bit him, and then one day she said she just beat him, and he didn't get up. And April, I think she said she had April help her put him in the deep freezer. Now, she said that she beat Monday because Monday had done something. I think she was being fast or something like that. She had beat Monday. She had locked her in the closet. And when Monday would get to screaming too loud and hollering and stuff, she would go and kick her and beat her some more. And then eventually Monday didn't make any noise. She said she did not put Monday in the freezer. I'm thinking April may have done it, because April kept saying toward the end of the book that she was just waiting for the authorities to come and arrest her too. And it was just the saddest, most disturbing book ever, because in my mind, there were so many people in this book who dropped the ball when it came to this case. Now, there was a teacher who reported the child abuse. Claudia's parents reported it. There were multiple people who just reported it, and then the authorities were just like, and dropping it. When you went to the woman's house, it had rat feces and roaches and stuff. Like, hello, that alone is enough for you to want to remove children. She had the children removed once when she had done something to Monday and them, because April was mad at Monday for not keeping her mouth shut. But, you know, she had done something to the children before, and they had separated them. And April said that I think it was Monday and August were at home together. Tuesday was with a nice white couple who wanted to adopt her because she was a baby still. And April was at a group home, and she said it was horrible, and she begged her mother to take them back. She begged her mother to take the parenting classes and to take the necessary steps to get, everybody back together. And the mom was like, and did it, but she did it so begrudgingly that it was obvious their mother had no business having children. And it's sad, but these kind of cases do exist. And I think to myself, had they not gotten evicted, when was somebody going to know that Monday and August were missing? If they hadn't got evicted and people were throwing their stuff out and opened the freezer and found those bodies in there, when were they going to notice that these children were missing? When were they going to notice? The children in the Blair case, I think, had been missing for several months, maybe a year. August, in the book, it said that August had been dead roughly 18 months, a year and a half, and Monday had been dead at least 10 months. 10 months she was missing, and the school didn't send no truant officer out there. And she said she was homeschooling or something like that. But my thing is, homeschool, you have to kind of check in, don't you? Like, I know around here you do. I'm not sure how it is globally, but I know around here you still have to do checking in and reporting and things. So it was just like a bunch of balls just dropped. The father said that he couldn't see his children unless, it was at the mom's, doing, and she just wasn't the kind of mom that was going to, allow him a lot of free time and a lot of access to his children. And do I feel like he could have tried harder? Yes. I feel like everybody could have tried one hair harder. And in the end, April did say that, Claudia was a good friend to her because Claudia never gave up looking for her. And in Claudia's mind, she knew she was dead. And when her parents had to sit her down and say, yes, Monday is gone, she died almost 2 years ago. And Claudia goes, how? I just saw her. What do you mean 2 years ago? And they had to tell her that 2 years have now passed. She thinks she just turned 14. And, she's applying for schools and all this kind of stuff for high schools. She thinks she's just turning 14. In actuality, she has just turned 16. They kept her. She was out of school that time. So, yeah, she is held back and now applying for high schools. But all this time has been wiped out because this child has literally come undone when this has happened to her friend. And to see all of this and to know that she was in the house where the freezer was, hiding up under Monday's bed. The whole book is just a lot. And I think that Tiffany D. Jackson may hold the title, for now, of writers who just do a lot with your emotions and take you all around the mulberry bush before they do something. The book really did shed good light on mental health in the African American community. I'm thankful that Claudia was able to get help and that her parents were actively, doing things to help her. But boy, oh boy, it really showed the gaps and the lapses in the system that is supposed to protect children. And sometimes you have to protect these children from their parents. And this is one of those times that I feel like that could have happened, but it did not. Do I think this book is worth reading? Yes. Even if you haven't read it and you've just watched this, I have left out so much that I think you still could get a really good, enjoyable feel from it. That child is dead from the beginning, so I haven't really even shed nothing on, no type of light on that for you. She's dead. Just from the way that everybody's like, what? What happened? Monday Charles is dead. So with that being said, I think that you should absolutely go out, grab this book, and read over it for yourself, because I'm telling you, I've left out a lot. I'm going to actually cut this one short. I'm so sorry. I'm going to cut this one short. I think that we'll start voting on our newest book shortly. I know D.E. Eliot has a new one coming out. I'm not sure if it's coming out this month or coming out in August. And if it comes out in August, we'll read that one for September. But I know that there's another one that's been floating around called The Darkest Child or something like that. And I don't know if I want to go from something as dark and sinister as Monday's Not Coming to The Darkest Child, which I've heard is just about as gut-wrenching as that. I don't know if I want to do that just yet. I feel like I might need a break and might need to read something funny in between then. Maybe I feel like we probably need to read something funny, because this book alone has been a complete lot. Let me see, is there anything else in my notes that I need to go over? No, actually, no. I do think that it was weird that she chose the freezer, because that case has, this book was almost like a Law and Order. You know how they say when it's ripped from the headlines? This is almost just like a Law and Order that was ripped from the headlines. It's bananas. And the fact that the mother did not feel any type of remorse for killing her children was really, really hurtful. Yeah, I think we're going to have to find something funny to read after this, because this has really run my nerves up. What book did we read last month? It wasn't Ruined. Oh, An American Marriage. Yeah, we've been through all these emotions here lately. I really kind of think that we may need to take a step back and read something funny, because these have been a lot. So I'll probably be putting a poll on the Facebook page for people to vote on the upcoming book. Oh yeah, I'm wearing a shirt. This one is the Naughty Librarian one. Can you see it? No. Yeah, it's on the website. You know, the website, chattypassenger.com. That's where the shirt is. I can't believe I just pulled my shirt up for y'all. And the bracelet set that I am wearing, this is a modest set, is from Tweet the Jeweler on Instagram. Find her, because yeah, she makes a whole bunch of custom jewelry. And like I said, this one's a little flashy, but this is tame compared to her other jewelry. I will put all the links and such somewhere in here for everybody's enjoyment. But I'm going to thank you so much for watching this in the rewind. This is the book club discussion, my recap kind of review of Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. Be looking out for another video. I might even do a live. I'm not going to say that. I've got some celeb stuff coming up in a little bit, and I may be able to get some video or a podcast or something out of there. I'll keep you all posted and let you know. Until the next time, thank you so much for joining me. And you can always catch me on chattypassenger.com, where I'm there for like blogs, podcasts, all kind of stuff, t-shirts, as you can see. So I will catch you all in the next one. Bye. Now watch that be the thumbnail, that face I just made.